My name is Mike Roberts. I am a content and social media producer, and I've gotten experience on both the client and agency side. And social media is one of my specialties. So I'll be presenting 7 small business social media trends for 2013. And these trends apply to large organizations as well. And this is just slightly catered to small businesses. This is a recap presentation of what I presented to SEM San Diego on November 26th, just to jot down a digital copy of what I presented there. So let's go ahead and jump in. First trend for 2013 that I see is going to be big is branded entertainment overtakes traditional disruptive advertising. So if we look at historically where we've been coming from, we see that we've had a few brands that have communicated over a few channels, and the consumers were able to receive those messages pretty easily because you could put an advertisement on TV, for example, and hit a huge population of consumers, and it was a pretty nice environment. Today, things have changed quite a bit, obviously. Lots of channels, lots of brands, and every channel, even though there are more of them, has become really cluttered. This is a pretty obvious point these days, I think. So we have to fight for consumers' attention, and even more than attention, we want it to be good attention, right? We don't want to be on the front page of the New York Times with some, oil spill or catastrophe. We want to actually earn their trust. So we have to fight for their trust, and that's an even more of a scarce commodity than attention is. So we don't want to be the kid in class who is screaming where everyone knows that we're there. We have their attention, but no one wants to be our friend. So one of the best ways to do this in a cluttered environment is to entertain our customers rather than to disrupt them. So historically, back in that TV example, consumers would want to watch their TV show. And we would show an advertisement that would disrupt or get in the way of what they wanted to watch. So embedding what our message is into what they want to watch is a much better system. So, product placement is just one example that people understand, and that's a much better approach in today's environment, today's cluttered environment. So you can see in the examples, like with Dos Equis, they have the most interesting man in the world campaign that they've been running for a while now, where it's so entertaining that consumers actually seek out the advertisement on YouTube and go and watch them again and try to find other ones within the campaign that they haven't seen before. And this isn't talking about any of the attributes of the beer. It's building a brand, basically. And so the brand entertainment is especially good for building brands, not so much for typical advertising where you have the features on an advertisement. And if you aren't familiar with this campaign, he basically says some really hilarious, line, and has nothing to do with beer, but it's really entertaining. Just an example is, running in place is not nearly as effective as running from a lion. And the way he delivers it is just really, really funny. So to give another example, to keep moving through, we have Old Spice, which their YouTube videos have become pretty infamous nowadays, where they're able to entertain people by creative advertising, basically, by having these kind of bathroom scenes where he says funny things and he interacts, in this case, like the Ellen Show and other popular shows and celebrity icons, and it's really they're pretty funny and engaging, and it doesn't have anything to do with promoting the specifics of or advertising in a traditional sense their body wash. Another good example is BMW, where they actually hired a movie director, to film James Bond-like chase scenes, to go around through San Francisco or whatever, where they have basic plots, and where the guy is trying to save the girl before the bad guy hurts her or something, and they have these epic chase scenes that have nothing to do with how fast the car accelerates or what the miles per gallon is, but it is building a brand that BMW is really good handling, and that it's the car that can take the good guy through all of these really tight turns and whatnot. And it's pure entertainment. They're 8 to 15 minutes long, and this has a much different kind of disruption where consumers are seeking these out on YouTube and loving watching them again and again and showing them to their friends. And as opposed to holding consumers' attention for maybe 30 seconds, in an advertising commercial, this is holding their attention for 8 to 15 minutes or more even. And so it's a much more effective approach. We see examples of kind of partnerships with Banana Republic and Mad Men, where Banana Republic knows fashion and Mad Men knows storytelling, and this is a shot of a Banana Republic store window that is promoting Mad Men, and they kind of cross promote each other. And Don Draper is the best salesman that Banana Republic could ask for, as he kind of walks around in his Manhattan suave lifestyle wearing their latest line of clothing. And Red Bull, this is a shot of the highest recorded jump ever, and it's sponsored by an energy drink company. Why? Because it's creating really interesting, entertaining content that the consumers that they have, their customers, energy drink, sports type people, love this stuff. And this is what breaks through the clutter. This is what captures people's attention for an engaged period of time. And this is what earns trust as well. So we've seen examples today of the more cutting edge examples of platforms like Brightcove, which is a pay service that allows you to monetize videos and things. They can place targeted ads around the video, as you can see here, like below it or even within it, on the sides of it, and kind of target it to the users that you're trying to reach, and allows you to monetize it. That's what's available today. Also, what's available today is green screen product placement, and this gives more relevance. And basically what it is everyone knows what a green screen is, where you can have someone talking in front of the camera and you have a green screen behind them, and you can kind of place them wherever you want. You can place whatever background behind them that you want, as long as you have that green screen. Well, if movie directors know this ahead of time and they film movies with green screens in certain strategic places, they can change out what kind of beer's in the fridge. So just an example, if you watch a movie in the United States and a character or a movie actor opens the fridge, you see an American beer in the fridge. But if you watch that same movie in Germany, you would maybe see a German beer instead. And if they plan ahead of time, they can have that kind of customization, and that adds extra relevance and it adds extra revenue, because you're able to tailor the product to the customer. And so we also see examples today of Amazon's advanced behavioral targeting technology, where they're able to target consumers based on analytics and numbers and statistics and viewer behaviors. So they can basically see what consumers are looking at and then target related products towards those consumers, because they know what they're in the market for, know what they're shopping for, know what they're interested in. They can figure out that this guy is 50 years old, lives in New York, and likes to fish. Well, the next step that we haven't quite seen yet is where you can start taking that kind of analysis and behavioral targeting and put it into these green screen environments, where you can have a much more catered viewing audience or program, so that the actual movie or TV show, whatever it might be, or maybe YouTube video eventually, will begin to change depending on who's watching it. And all of this costs a lot of money, but the cost is not going to be as nearly as much as the return, because this added relevance is going to be able to offer a lot more value to advertisers, and it's going to be a lot more, as I said, entertaining and interesting for consumers, because you're being advertised with what they want to see, what they're in the market to buy. And then Terminator 2 is an excellent example of that cost and return scenario, where after Terminator 2, Harley-Davidson's sales skyrocketed. Now, they didn't have a partnership, but the point is the same, where it became an American icon, where it got embedded into culture, and once the movie came out, it became extremely popular. But it was also, people rented that movie for years on DVDs, and then they watched it again as reruns on TV. So it had a 10-year lifespan, and you see YouTube videos that have become a part of popular culture, and it's just because some YouTube producers have actually gotten more audience views than primetime television shows. And so this is a really interesting way to become a part of branded entertainment. And it allows new revenue streams to be created, and you can sell the actual content. So you can actually maybe incorporate down the line into a Netflix model, like a subscriber model, where you can actually sell the content you're producing. So when BMW creates their 15-minute thing, if they're able to monetize and actually sell that as valuable content that people want to watch the way they would watch 007 maybe. Um, on a small scale, we can see people being able to do that on Vimeo already, and there's other new kind of crowdfunding models that are developing. The point is that the content becomes something that people actually might pay for. So those new revenue streams can help pay for the extra costs as well. On a small scale, small business guys can start on YouTube. The following production costs and then the free distribution that YouTube provides really enables the small guy, anyone, to really participate in this. Just finding something that isn't necessarily, doesn't have to be a movie studio quality, but as long as it's resonating with the audience, this concept will work out well. And costs are very minimal for cameras and things these days. And another way to kind of get into branded entertainment is to reduce the risk through strategic partnerships. Like I mentioned with Banana Republic and Mad Men, Banana Republic knows fashion. They may not know storytelling all that well, but Mad Men, the creators, producers of it, really know storytelling well. It's a hit TV show. And they kind of combine their core competencies to reduce the risk of it working out, or of it not working out, rather. And I got a lot of inspiration and some ideas and some research from a lot of these people on here, and I want to make sure I give them credit for the stuff that they're doing. And if you have any questions, please let me know on any of the social channels, or you can go ahead and give me a call or email me if you would like as well. And my Twitter handle there is mrobertsonline. You can find my blog at allegoriedesign.com or find me on LinkedIn. And all my other social channels you can find on my blog. So, hope that was helpful. Again, my name is Mike Roberts. I would look forward to interacting with you, and look forward to 2013. Let me know what you think about this.